All right. So when we come back from this break, I have a special guest to come on with us. This young man has a coffee shop and he experienced tyranny firsthand. We're going to talk to him and show his story when we come back. Okay, so like before the break, I told you I have a special guest on with me. This young man has a coffee shop, Viva Coffee, and he's actually an example of the tyranny that's being pushed down onto the American people. Now, I don't think that we should go out and be real aggressive and start shooting people. No, that's not the point. The point is for us to be able to live free and prosper in the United States of America. So let's bring this young man on and have this discussion. How you doing, Kelly?
Hi, Will. I'm doing well. I'm going to back the camera off a little bit here. I'm at Viva Coffee House right now in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So, I got wind of your story, and I know that a lot of people have got, wind of your story and have been talking about it. And I think it should be on a national scale because it's happening to you, it's happened to other people, it's happening to multiple people when it comes to talking about the scale, the level of the tyranny that has happened. So just kind of run down, and we do have the clip that when you got arrested, but kind of
Sure.
lead us into that, and we'll play that clip where they show where they were arresting you and you were exercising your First Amendment. Just because you say something they don't like does not give them the grounds to arrest you. That is the very definition of tyranny. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was shocking. No criminal record, nothing like that. So I'll try to make a long story short. We opened this coffee shop just about a year before the pandemic started. And we're just getting to the point where I told my in-laws I think we could start taking a little bit from the business, and then COVID hit. At the time, I was working as editor-in-chief for a national medical publication, so I knew a lot more about COVID than the general public did early on. In fact, one of our staff is a doctor from China who's known as one of the nation's top doctors. He's a colleague of Fauci. But knowing all of that, we still wanted our business we didn't want to ruffle feathers. We wanted everyone to feel comfortable. We wanted to do our best to follow the county resolution. So we did all of that. We had our first COVID inspection and we passed. The inspector had a couple small items to remedy, but I literally had the congratulations, you're in compliance in our email inbox. I had the ready for you Pima County sticker showing approval on our window. And we started getting just fake reviews, nastygrams, trolling, people calling the shop. We called somebody called the shop and called one of our baristas an effing C. You can fill in the female anatomy there. And we just thought, what is going on? So somebody was naming my wife and children online, threatening to kill my family. So I started emailing the county board of supervisors, and I said, look, something's wrong. And I thought at first it was an accident, but then people told us we were on the county website, what they call the Wall of Shame. We came to find out, long story short.
Well, they said that you were on the Wall of Shame?
Yeah, a county website listing who's supposedly non-compliant, and yet we were compliant. We found out later that they told the inspector, no, we're going to put them as non-compliant. So, and it turned out that the chair of the board of supervisors had lodged the complaint.
Well, I think we lost him there. Okay, so we're gonna keep going here and see if we can get him back here. This is so horrible. When he said the Wall of Shame, what is that? What is that? The Wall of Shame? That, you know what? When he said they weren't compliant, and all I'm hearing is that it's like Nazi Germany. I'm like, are we living in Nazi Germany? And they're doing this, saying they're doing it they're combating it for the medical science. You know what, Shannon?
I mean, it's actually empowering the government to bully business. And that's exactly what they did. They're bullying him to do something that they wanted to do for their own agenda. Not that they were breaking a law or anything like that. So they just were bullying him. It's absolutely, and in fact, could you not almost extend that to maybe some defamation? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I can imagine that a lot of people thought badly on him, his family. He said he started getting harassed. He probably lost business, all because of a posting that a government made saying that they were non-compliant. It was a lie.
Yeah, 100%.
They always do that. They lie.
So the left deliberately had him targeted. And they did this for intimidation. You know what else that makes me think about? It makes me think about when white people and black people were voting. Because again, the Democrat KKK party had the Klans member go out and terrorize people to get them to vote a certain way. And that's exactly the same thing that they did here. They put on a message board, say, hey, these are the people that you need to attack. And then he goes to the board members and asks them, say, hey, you're the one that brought this to me. You're the one that did this. People should be able to live their lives freely. So actually, we got him back.
Okay.
We got him back. We're going to bring him back on here, and then we'll go back to that story. So let's bring Kelly back on. Hey, Kelly, thank you so much. So let's go ahead while we got you, Kelly, because you kind of laid it out. Let's bring up the video clip where it's talking about where you're headed to the coffee shop for the coffee shop, and we'll play that clip, and then we'll get more information from you. Go ahead, play it.
No, you're going to hear this because your health department made us hear this.
Mr. Walker?
You're going to hear this.
Mr. Walker, if
What?
you don't watch your language, I'm going to have you escorted out of the room.
Your health department threw us under the
Sir,
bus,
I'm
and the
asking
constant barrage of this kind of language
Sergeant at Arms,
has been sent.
please escort this man out of the hearing room.
No. Your health department threw us to the rage
Sir?
mob.
I've asked you to behave and to.
I have a right to speak.
Okay,
I have a right to speak.
let go of the podium.
I'll censor the language, but you need to understand
No.
that my family has been submitted to threats. My family has been submitted to threats because of you. Death threats on my staff. You are violating my civil rights.
You are resisting.
I'm not resisting. I'm just strong. And you're going to hear from me. You're going to be getting a class action lawsuit. Let me get my things, please.
I'll grab them for you.
Is this how you want to do this?
Sir, I asked you to abide by
my
certain
phone.
rules, and you would not, sir.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. Because in the beginning of that, they said your language. I mean, is there a rule that you can't call them butt heads? I mean, is there a freedom of speech clause somewhere that you can't say certain things to them? I mean, you know what? I completely would understand the frustration that they put your name on a board somewhere, causing people to come attack you and your family, threatening you. That would infuriate anybody. And it shouldn't even matter what side of the aisle you're on.
No, and the thing is, I sent them exactly the materials I was going to present. I read some of the comments that my wife and our customers had to wake up and see, and I read them verbatim. It was obvious I wasn't directing them at them. And by the way, this charge was dismissed. It was obviously false arrest.
So let me get this. So let me get this straight. You simply was reading the nasty comments as a result of them putting your coffee shop on a board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
So now they're upset. So now the language is a problem. It wasn't a problem as long as it's directed to you, but when you're reading it to them, now it becomes a problem.
And you'll see I even offered to censor it. I could, say effing or whatever,
Wow.
The whole thing was a setup, though. They were waiting for me.
They were waiting for you. So what did the police officers do after you left the podium there?
The shorter officer, the bald one who put the cuffs on me, he took me back to a booking area, and I chewed him out. I said, look, he said, I didn't want to do that, but you shouldn't have said those things. He said, but I don't want to lose my job. I said, your job is to protect people like me from people like them. You swore an oath to the Constitution. So I was respectful. I said, we back the blue, our shop, we love the police, but what you did was wrong. He knew it. I had sheriff's officers come in and say, I would have quit my job before I would have made that arrest. Everyone knew it was wrong.
Yeah, it is 100% wrong. And I'm like thinking, the police officer, that's exactly what I was saying earlier, that, hey, we're just doing our jobs. We're here to take your firearms away. We're here to shut your business down because I'm just doing my job. Well, no, that's actually not your job. Your job is exactly what you just said. They're supposed to protect us from these tyrants. And they're doing it for the safety medical reasons. I mean, seriously, the pandemic was there how did Hillary Clinton say, let no crisis go to waste? So they've taken that so they can try to crush small businesses in this nation.
And it was purposeful. They targeted us purposefully. They wanted to make an example of someone. They wanted to intimidate someone. Unfortunately for them, I don't get intimidated. And we're law-abiding citizens, but we know what the Constitution says. I've read the Federalist Papers. I write about these things. We know. So I went in there as their boss to tell them, you've done wrong. And they led me out in handcuffs, but I knew when I was sitting back there, they made a big mistake. People are going to finally see how tyrannical they become and how corrupt they are.
Tell us where you are right now in your case, because I know you said that you were going to, file a lawsuit because they were completely wrong what they did to you. So tell us right now where you are in your case.
Someone recommended a lawyer, and we took him on, but he wanted me to stay completely silent, not say anything on social media. My whole family said, we can't do that. He had put in a settlement offer of $2 million. So we literally walked away from, whatever that would have negotiated down to. He said if it would have gone to trial, it would have been tens of millions. But we said no, because like my wife said, that's not why we're doing this. And we've struggled, believe me, we've struggled financially since then. Imagine facing this when you've only been in business for a year. So we fired the lawyer. We haven't found a new one yet. But there are 14 violations of state, federal, and constitutional law, and 18 people are named because the one good thing we did get out of that lawyer before we fired him was almost a 70-page document of all the things they'd done. So we have a case ready to go. We're just trying to find the right person. We're trying to find somebody who says, yeah, I want to take this on. But
what's scary to me is that I've seen a lot of lawyers in the past kind of want to stay away from political cases, but this has nothing to do with politics. This has everything to do with our freedoms.
It does. And this lawyer that we had basically wanted to cut a deal. He worked both sides. We'll put this away quietly and we'll get these people some money. But no, that's the people's money. That's coming from the county. So yeah, we're still looking for someone. And the thing is, if someone would take this, we could really make a difference in this county. And this county is pivotal in what's going on right now. I mean, we had Dinesh D'Souza out here for an event last August, and I still communicate with him. And a lot of election fraud is happening in this part of Arizona. And we could have some people lose their jobs. We could really turn around Southern Arizona.
Yeah. I think Arizona needs to turn to the better too. I mean, because we saw what happened in 2020, which we all know, 2000 Mules really exposed all of that, not just Arizona, but, other places in the nation. So,
Absolutely.
hey, thank you so much for coming on with me. Tell everyone how they can support you and where they can find you.
VivaCoffeehouse.com is where we are online. We're at 9136 East Valencia in Tucson, near Vail. But I also started Freedom Talk because I didn't want to only be asking for donations. And we do have a Give, Send, Go site. I think you're maybe going to put that up later. But go on to VivaCoffeehouse.com and look for Freedom Talk. We just started doing coffee subscriptions and a Freedom Box, which is a bag of coffee plus the really nice Freedom Talk magazine. If I can hold this up here, let me see how I can do that. Yep, and a surprise like a T-shirt or a hat or something every month. So we really started Freedom Talk to fight back, but also to fund some of the work we're doing. And I'll tell you, ever since that happened, we have stood up for against the medical mandates. We've stood up for police, for fire, for military. It's really been astounding that a tiny little shop down here has been able to have a national impact, but we're still fighting. We're still fighting for people. I wish we had that $2 million, but and our shop's struggling under the current inflation and gas prices. But whether or not this shop stays open, we're going to keep fighting because we love people. I already made the commitment to give my business or up to my life for my country, and we're all in.
Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of people are the same way. I've said this multiple times that I'm going to die a free man. Even if
Yes.
they come get me and put me in bondage, and the only reason why they'll do that because I will not comply with their evilness.
Yeah.
100%.
When I was in handcuffs and chains, they didn't break me. The worst thing for me was I fought hard not to wear that stupid mask because I know the science behind it. I wrote about it. And I had to make a decision because I had committed myself. I'm not going to wear this. It doesn't do anything. It's a sign of subjugation. I had to make a decision. Either I go in there and represent a lot of people and fight for them, or I put this thing on. So I pushed my limits. I took it off when I sat down. Um, I was pushing it the whole way, but that was harder than having the handcuffs, having to put that thing, even though I just wore it up to
Yeah.
here. It was a sign of we have dominion over you. And no,
Yep.
you don't. You work for us.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. You're exactly right. And they want to use that, and they're trying to bring it back. They're trying to bring it back. So, sir,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on with me. Let's
Thank you, Will.
let's plan on doing this again so we can get an update later on in the future. Okay.
Absolutely. There's much more to the story. Thank you for having me on. I really
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Awesome. Take care.
Okay, you too.
All right. Bye.